Here at World 5, we're not biased in any sort of way. We don't support one candidate or the other. We just simply like to report the facts. It's a brand new year and a brand new president. Donald Trump will be America's 45th president of the United States, and a large percentage of the country isn't exactly happy about that fact. Back on November 9th of 2016, many Americans who lean a little bit left woke up to a nightmare, and it only seemed to get worse. Protests, riots, and intense confrontations between Trump and Hillary voters have emerged across the nation since the election results. President Trump. President Trump. Say it a couple more times and let it really sink in. With all his promises of building a wall and tweets that have made him become even more intense, people are more responsive than ever. And before you go on asking yourself, how in the world did this happen? We'll give you some possible reasons why. Join us as we look at 8 reasons why this reality television show producer and real estate mogul became the 45th president of the United States. His supporters admired him for telling it like it is. Many Americans are craving for a significant change. They've been waiting for years and years to find a president that would truly be able to turn the economy around. Someone who can promise significant unconventional changes. Someone who doesn't hold back. A possible underdog that won't screw them over. And someone who's not a corrupt politician. A person who has ideas and stands behind them. And seemingly, Donald Trump is the man for the job for many Americans. During the debates, we saw Donald Trump go out of his way to make sure that he spoke his mind and hardly ever apologized for his actions. He simply showed himself as a man of the people, and it apparently worked. You've heard his supporters say that he tells it like it is, although the statement might not necessarily be true. He apparently says stuff that more than half of America agrees with. Sure, he went out of order with his insults and different things that spewed out of his mouth, including about illegal immigrants, Muslims, and the female population, and his temperamental attacks are rarely thought out. So then, why is it that we still had so many people vote for him? The answer to this might be slightly simpler than we think. Donald Trump's mission was to call out anyone that was corrupt. His mission was to be the voice of the majority, and he asked the question that everyone wanted the answer to. If Clinton was in politics for so long, why wasn't she able to make changes earlier? People are craving a ruthless change, and Donald Trump is promising that it's going to happen. No one seems to care whether or not this change is going to be good or bad, however. After all, his slogan is, "Let's make America great again," so he can't be all that bad, right? The marketing strategy behind the campaign. And speaking of making America great, the marketing behind Trump is what made him win the election in the end. I mean, just think about it. Everyone discussed Trump. He called out everyone, stating things like how Jeb Bush was weak and he had to choose another competitor. He called out Clinton and a lot of other long-term politicians. He made people respond, and his supporters cheered him on. And you know that even bad publicity is really good publicity, especially in politics. So let's not forget about how he bashed politics in general, stating that the government is corrupt. It's clever marketing. And after all, Trump was an outsider who made his way into politics, making sure that everyone knew about the corrupt government. But of course, this was always specifically aimed at Democrats, the media, and everyone who has a differing opinion. They're all wrong because the future president said so. And people were more than happy to support an outsider and jump on board with everything that he had to say. Trump presented himself as the man of the people, and it was successful. And now, compare this to Clinton's strategy. Although it was clear that Clinton had been in the game for too long to stoop so low, it's what also ruined her campaign. She focused far too much on advertising and general celebrity endorsement. Trump probably spent the same amount of money for his live mass audience events. She remained civil, while Trump, well, he just didn't do politeness and said what was on his mind. And this is the dirty game of politics. You have to play the opponent's game and become 10 times better at it. Trump became extremely good at, if you say something I don't like, I'm going to interrupt you. Clinton just kind of refused to play that game, and it would end up costing her the election. Hillary's email scandal. And speaking of Clinton, Hillary really blew it with her email scandal, and the social media quickly jumped on the case, turning her into a bad guy. After that, Trump of course joined in. The name Crooked Hillary quickly caught on, and things really hit the fan when the announcement that the FBI was reopening the Clinton email investigation case during the last month of the election hit her hard. And you just know that you've lost the battle when the FBI director himself makes it clear that he wouldn't even vote for you because of your scandal. And let's not forget that James Comey also stated he found new private Hillary emails on a laptop of a pervert in the last weeks of the campaign. Of course, he later cleared her name, but it without a doubt affected the voting decision of several undecided Americans, as it showed that Trump was onto something with his Crooked Hillary nickname. Well played, Mr. Trump. Well played. The 2016 voter turnout was lower than ever before. Now, we all know that the United States is a country that has some of the lowest voter turnouts in history. Unlike Australia, the USA doesn't make voting mandatory, although we can see how this might be changed considering the 2016 election results. About 48 to 57% of citizens normally participate in the presidential election voting, but this year, 60% of America, well, they just decided to opt out, lowering the voter turnout to a mere 40% of the American population. 117 million people just didn't vote this year, and that decision most likely comes due to the fact that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were both two of the most disliked presidential candidates in the past 30 years. We also know that presidential elections are more competitive in some states. Republicans didn't even seem to vote as much as people in swing states, where the elections are more competitive. And then there's also the fact about 21 million eligible voters actually don't possess voter identification forms, as it comes with certain fees and transportation, making it harder for people with lower incomes and those with mobility issues. But here's the thought, American citizens. People fought for your right to vote for centuries, so you should probably go out and exercise it. The Donald Trump entertainment factor. This kind of ties into Trump's campaign marketing skills, but without a doubt, it was the unlikely occurrence of Donald Trump even becoming president that would entertain several people. Now, we've all heard the story of the UK's Brexit and how several people only voted just because they thought there was no way the country would make a decision to leave the European Union. The idea of Donald Trump, the "you're fired" celebrity apprentice star, seemed fun to play around with for a lot of people. Now, are you wondering what he'll do next? What outrageous thing that he'll tweet that will make a lot of people interested in him? Maybe leaving Hillary out on the bleachers? Well, Donald Trump decided to erase all lines between politics and entertainment and went all in with his campaign. Let's not forget he's a reality television show star. His tweets are infamous for being outrageous, and he has no problem expressing his political beliefs because he knows that he'll receive a response. It all goes to prove who's really running the show. Clinton didn't fight hard enough to win. There's never been a case of a political party going negative to this extent before. Donald Trump didn't hold back, but Hillary Clinton, she refused to follow his lead. She didn't fight back when the media questioned her health, especially after her collapse during her first appearance, since she's been diagnosed with pneumonia. The media threw a barrage of questions at her and most likely shifted some of the voters to a more healthy-looking Donald Trump. Clinton also missed a chance of not pushing harder and making the public aware that Donald Trump didn't really pay any federal taxes. Her campaign should have ripped him to pieces after he replied that it makes him smart during the presidential debate. And apparently in that moment, the audience gasped, and most were left appalled. I mean, a man who doesn't even pay taxes suddenly being in charge of the American tax economy? This could very easily put Trump in jail, according to some experts. And apparently, according to some reports, he hasn't even paid taxes for the last 18 years. So why didn't Clinton grab this chance to bring him down? She also lacked in press conferences in order to establish trust in social media as well as her voters. She stayed out of the limelight, often sending people in her place. And naturally, the media is going to lean towards those who can give them the juiciest information, regardless of its quality. And Trump, provided them exactly that. The emphasis of conservative values to attract angry white working class. The public was divided with Trump on the issues of race, as he seemingly attacked one minority after another. "Make America Great Again" was the slogan, and many thought that this slogan didn't include non-Americans. The campaign particularly emphasized on their social conservative values and focused on attracting the population that was pro-anti-immigration, anti-abortion, anti-gay, and gun rights. So in all of the confusion, this mainly attracted angry white working class people who took the advantage of exercising their opinions on immigrants, gun rights, and then some. These are people who truly believe that making America great again will happen with the support of conservative values. And that was exactly the plan behind the Trump campaign. And finally, celebrity endorsement. In the new age of social media, celebrity endorsement can play an important factor when it comes to the voting system, especially for those non-decided voters. To name a few, Gene Simmons, Kid Rock, Mike Tyson, many of the Celebrity Apprentice contestants, along with others, shared their support for the Trump campaign and massively shifted the votes in Trump's favor. Even Dennis Rodman got in on it, tweeting that America didn't need another politician, it needed a businessman like Trump. Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, even donated $1.25 million to the campaign. Donald Trump also got the support from Hulk Hogan that he needed, and even his former wife, Ivana, who shared that she was standing behind his candidacy. Academy Award-winning actor Jon Voight probably expressed the opinion of most Trump supporters when he said that there are many Republicans fighting to keep him from winning the Republican nomination. You know why? Because he has no bull to sell, and everyone will discover the bull most politicians spew out is for their own causes and benefits. All in all, the 2016 presidential election was the one that we probably are going to remember for years and years to come. And whether you like to admit it or not, Donald Trump will be the president of the United States of America for at least the next 4 years. So we can without a doubt say that this will be the most interesting 4 years we've ever had as a country. Good luck, President Trump, but please try to stay away from Twitter. This has been a look at the reasons that Donald Trump won the presidency. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe for more in the future. Thanks for watching.